So this is going to be a complete case study because I figured, you know what? Why should I always just give you recorded videos? Let's test YouTube Live. Let's see how this is working. And comment below. Do you want to see more lives? Do you want to have more engagement? Do you want to be able to give feedback and ask your questions rather than me just throwing videos at you? So we got the comment section below. Even if you watch the video in a replay, pop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Are you watching live or recorded? And do you want to see more of those? Do you want to be able to engage more with me rather than jumping on email or chat, which have many of you done, or join the Facebook group for that matter? Now, next to this being a complete YouTube live study, many of you have reached out and I get the same question over and over, no matter if it's in the Facebook group, if it's often in comments, if it's in messages, or even from my clients when they start working with me. And it's always the, where do I even start? They've seen some of my YouTube videos, they've seen how we implemented things, but they have no clue where to even start, where to move into figuring out workflows and figuring out the processes. Some of them was like, yeah, I'm all over the place. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get structure in here or any of those. And that's exactly what I want to cover today. Amber, I love it. Amber just commented and said her only problem is she's impatient and wants to watch my videos right away. I get that. Maybe we should work on some binge watching content or something like that. Now, with getting started with workflows, the problem that we often have is we dive in, we do our research. Maybe you even reached out to somebody like me to help you figure out which programs are the best for you, because just because I love ClickUp doesn't mean ClickUp is perfect for you. It needs to be able to work with the processes and how you work in your business, and it needs to be able to be implemented with everything you already have. So, but as you know, I love ClickUp, big ClickUp fan, and there's a reason for that. But how do you start when you have barely used a project management system before, when you've been a one-man show, when you've been a solopreneur, you are getting ready to scale, you want to outsource? How do you start with all of that? And you're going to laugh at me because most of you know I'm a complete tool nerd. We start right here. Especially when you have not built any workflows or laid out any processes before, pen and paper will be your friend. Because where we need to start is how you think about things. You need to start seeing those steps and those processes that are there, that are happening, and you aren't even aware of. So when you start moving into project management and really want to clean things up and really want to be efficient, what I tell all of my clients is pen and paper, have it sitting next to you. And as an example, let's go through publishing a blog post. So you might know I start out with a YouTube video that then gets moved into a blog post, that then gets moved into social media content. We are working on repurposing things and all of the things. If you're publishing blog posts regularly, you know there is a whole bunch of work behind this. Now, when you start working through that process of building that blog post, have your pen and paper ready. And what you're going to do is you're going to put one big tag on top, say blog post. And then we start writing down those steps, meaning you need to record the video, you need to edit the video, you need, what images do you need? You're gonna need a thumbnail for the YouTube video, you're gonna need a featured image for the blog post, you're gonna need a square image for marketing. Don't try to figure out all of the images at once. As you build those blog posts and as you build those images and as you are all over the place trying to figure out where your assets are and where your stock imagery is and how you figure out the title, and when you do all of those things, just go on your just go on your paper and just write them down. Don't worry about any sorting yet. Don't worry about making sense of it. Just write them all down. All of the steps that come to mind when you go through that. You then gonna take that list and you're gonna start cleaning it up. Maybe even put it in subtask lists. For example, development, or for me, it's the video recording piece. Everything that is for the video goes into that. Then we have the blog post development, meaning everything that's happening on the website. Then we have the marketing piece, getting together the Pinterest images, the Instagram images, the square images, the sideways images. It's like, we know how many images we need for one piece of content, right? And then you take that whole crazy list that you wrote and you put them in categories and you clean out that workflow. That means next time around you do this, you don't have to think about, you are not all over the place. You don't have to, do I need this? Do I have this? Do I have that? Did I do that? And where do I find everything? You are already working on it. You are cleaning up your list. And once you have those lists cleaned up, that's when you can move them into a project management system like ClickUp. And already having those file structures moved down and cleaned up will help you implement them in ClickUp. And that's where you can jump into some of my videos I already recorded showing you how I lay out ClickUp and how I structure everything in there. But it really comes down to, you just need to do it. And if you're watching me for a while, I hated that saying too, because it's like, yeah, but no but. Pen and paper, start writing down all the things you are doing, then put them into subtasks, clean them up, then move them into a project management system. And please, please, please don't try to be perfect and have it all written out and all ready before you put it into a project management system. It all comes down to using it. Things are going to be moved around. Things are going to be changing. Once you move them into ClickUp, you might want to add an Airtable base and embed that on top. Or you might want to add a document where you start collecting ideas for videos or blog posts. Those workflows and processes are going to change and you're going to adapt. But to learn how these need to change, you need to use the tool. And one of the biggest issues that I've seen with people is not sticking with it. They are using a tool and it was easy to implement and it's all there. And then you don't use it because a certain piece is missing. For example, I think that was on my last video, I had a comment where somebody is checking out Notion and ClickUp and which one he wants to use. Now, Notion to me is not a project management system. It's a fancy way of writing an employee handbook. So to me, you can't necessarily compare those. Do you want an employee handbook or do you want a process management system? Now, he needs to use those two tools to figure out what he actually wants. Now, if you want a project management system, ClickUp isn't that easy. It has a big learning curve, I know that, but I am going for the longevity of everything because it eliminates my need for 3 other programs. I don't need a program to just have my employee handbook somewhere. I have my project management system. I have client tracking, so I have a CRM in there too. But it means it took me 2 months of testing and learning and moving things around and changing things up again to have ClickUp at a level where it's working for me, where I regularly use it and it's being used, but it still changes. Every month we're updating something, we're changing something around, or we are using it in a different way. So to come back around how you can get started today, getting your workflows down and getting your processes down, because I hope you know how important that is, even if you are just by yourself, because if we don't plan, we waste 75% of our time. Start with a piece of paper, Write down the steps you are doing when you are doing the task. Take the time. I know the task is going to take double the time, but write down those steps, and literally it doesn't matter in which order, just throw them on a piece of paper that you have those down. Then take some time each week and clean those up. Even put them in subtasks if that makes sense. Once you have that, move it into your project management tool like ClickUp, and then use it. Not just a week, not just a month. You need to at least stick with the tool like a project management system for 3 months to know if it's gonna work for you or not. You're gonna run into some trouble, you're gonna run into some issues, some tools, some connections, something that doesn't work as you expected, and you need to figure out how to make it work for you. And it's just gonna take 3 months to get to that point. Now, to wrap things up, I will have, by the end of the month, in my academy, I will have a little freebie for you that helps you lay out those workflows. So if you want to get that, jump over to academy.askevie.com and grab the workflow systems freebie. I think it's the third one on the right. Go grab that. You get all of the updates that are coming with that. And again, comment in the section below or over here. My window is a little bit smaller right now. And let me know, do you want to see more of these lives and engage and be able to ask your questions live in the show? Or do you like more of the recorded video and screen walkthrough and those kind of things? So comment below, let me know, and I'll see you again next week. Bye, everybody.